but like 2 months before I was not in Ukraine. That's why I didn't have the possibility, unfortunately, to visit the seminar. I was like in spring, I think, the last time it was.
Okay. So maybe,
Maybe you just forgot me.
Maybe. Do you remember me?
Yes,
Okay. At least you remember me. Yeah, it was. If it was a long time ago, I remember there was my first time with online presentations, and I don't remember anything. Sorry.
I remember very well. Yeah.
Okay. Just a second. Let me see. We've got 7 participants. One more. 7. Wow, that's a crowd. Very good. All right. My traditional question. Does anybody know the name of the presentation? Of the seminar?
Yeah, sure. Drilling is the first step to fluency.
Yeah. The focus is on fluency. And first, before we get to examples, I'd like to ask you if you know what builds on fluency. Well, first, what is fluency?
Fluency is the speed of speech.
The speed, and maybe what else? What can we add?
How accurate student can express the thoughts, the ideas, how in what way he expresses the thoughts and idea, whether it's correct or not. Yes, not just the simple words, the set of words. They should be grammatically correct so that we understand what the student is talking about.
I agree with what you're saying, except for one word. You said how accurately the student speaks. If we speak about fluency, sometimes you can be absolutely fluent, but not accurate. It happens, and well, this is one of the aspects. Or some people are accurate, but not fluent.
Yeah.
And I decided to have this seminar with you because after observing your lessons, I noticed that most of you say that, well, my student is not fluent. What to do? Many of you ask this question. And I decided to talk about it. So, just a second, let me share the screens. Okay. Like this. Can everybody see it?
Yep.
Yeah. Look, we have like 2 blocks here, and I want to hear your ideas. What builds on fluency? What helps us train fluency? Just what do we need to do to train fluency?
Drilling.
Yeah, that's obvious from the name of the seminar, yes.
And then some active vocabulary.
What about vocabulary?
Active vocabulary, I think.
Activating vocabulary. Okay, how would you activate vocabulary? How would you do that?
Help of practice.
What does that mean?
Well, I guess drilling the vocabulary is also would be helpful here, and like talking, using the vocabulary in speech, creating communicative situations.
Okay, so you're saying drilling and using in communication.
Yeah.
If you notice a mistake, please tell me, because when I type and think and talk, it's difficult. Okay, let's get back to drilling. What can we drill? Let's
vocabulary, grammar.
What do you mean by grammar?
Yes, the structure. Yeah, the structure of the sentence. So I go, he, and the student has to continue the sentence goes, for example. Yes, if we study present simple.
So I would say that we don't drill grammar, we drill sentences, right?
Sentences, yeah.
Okay, so if we speak about vocabulary, what can it be?
Synonym, antonym, like to find the opposites of the words, for example.
Is it both wise, yes?
Yeah.
Synonyms, opposites.
Opposites.
Yeah. What else?
Phrasal verbs as well. There are difficulties with them quite often.
Okay. What else?
Prepositions, maybe. Like the verbs with prepositions.
Okay. And altogether, what are they? Like the synonyms, opposites, phrasal verbs, prepositions. Like what are they?
Lexicality.
Okay, lexical items. And okay, what's the minimum? The minimal lexical item.
Word.
Okay. Good.
All right.
Okay. And slightly bigger. What is that?
Sentence. No?
Phrases.
It's
Phrase. Phrase, then
first
sentence.
goes phrase. Then sentence. Okay. What goes after that? It's not vocabulary.
Paragraph.
Paragraphs. Why would you drill a paragraph? Yeah, you're talking about like smaller, bigger. Yeah, but
maybe storytelling, like. So this paragraph,
okay.
this is storytelling.
Stories, yeah. I think I can imagine a situation where we tell one story more than once. I think I can. What else? Anything else?
Maybe songs or poems. Songs could be useful.
I wouldn't say that songs is drilling because it's like more singing. Yeah, it's like
Conversations, like we make dialects, we role play dialects with students.
Dialects, poems, you said, right? Okay.
Speeches, whole speeches, like presentations, like some students, especially business, they quite often ask to help with presentation.
Okay. I think that's enough. Okay, let's go on. Okay, activate vocabulary. I like this thing. Really then using it in communication. There's one more aspect of activating vocabulary. What do we need to provide our students with in order to help them be more fluent? Activate.
Sample.
Sample, yes, these phrases. Then we get back to this thing and this thing, right? And this thing again. Okay. What happens with your what happens with your students when they are trying to speak faster? With
they make mistakes.
They can't use appropriate form.
Yeah.
And what if we speak about vocabulary?
It's hard. Mispronounced, maybe the words. They pronounce them incorrectly.
And it's hard for them to remember the words sometimes. Like, yeah, they have these pauses.
Everything you're saying is right, but what I wanted to talk about is what Mila mentioned. That the students forget vocabulary. And what do we need to provide our students with in this respect?
Probably we need to give the active vocabulary for this communicative situation. Like the vocabulary, well, for example, we have some speaking situation which we're going to start the lesson, and we should provide student with the words to like activate these words before talking about it.
I think we should provide them with the aim of using this vocabulary.
Well, yeah, we'll have the communicative situation.
Okay, so provide with vocab, then provide with aim. Okay. Is there anything else we should do for them?
Maybe read sometimes. If there are some difficult words, we should first read them so that there are no misunderstandings, because quite often students are afraid to read some words that are new for them. So present pronunciation.
Okay, read for them. I see what you mean.
Clarify the meaning if it is necessary.
Yeah, what you're saying is right, but it feels to me that it goes here to this reading part, repeating many times, yes, clarifying and then using it. Okay, we'll get back to it a bit later. Okay, there's something else we can do for that? Or we can do to help students' fluency?
Not to interrupt them when they're speaking, for example.
let them speak freely. Why is it important?
Because they will not be scared to make mistakes. Because when we interrupt all the time, yes, they will be just afraid to continue speaking.
Yeah, I agree. I think it helps to overcome language barrier.
Yeah.
So I'm putting as it increases confidence, okay? And if we say that fluency is speed, let's think about it together.
It helps to express thoughts like in a faster way, not to think like 10 seconds before giving it some information.
Okay, so like a chance not to think, well, I hope they think when they speak, but for too long. Okay.
And of course, I guess it's like it helps students to concentrate on their ideas and on speaking, but not on grammatical and lexical side of speech.
Okay. All right. Let me see if there's something else. And there's one more aspect which I have in mind, and which unfortunately not all of you think is important. But okay. So these are your ideas, right? And I'll show you my ideas. My ideas are as follows. Please compare. Is there anything we haven't mentioned?
Speaking only in the language learned. Yes, that we didn't mention that aspect. Because quite often students, they start using their native language while during the lessons.
Or teachers start using native
can
language.
be.
And I guess the second, probably the second tip, like not to say the words for students. Well, I mean that to let the student remember the word which he wants to remember.
Give the time to student because quite often we don't wait and we just like interrupt and say the word instead of them.
Yes,
because like too long.
Yes, and by doing this, you kind of take this chance for the students to get it out of their mind, away from them, right? And this is an important thing to build fluency, to develop fluency. Well, what will you do if the student can't remember this word anyway?
Give a tip.
For example, give a tip. What else?
Yeah. Give the synonym. Yeah.
Yes. Find a synonym.
Maybe some associations.
Okay. And when, let's put it strictly like that, when are you allowed to give the word to the student?
And when you see that time is running out.
Yeah, and?
When it's a new word for a student.
When what?
It's a new word.
Yeah, that's a very important thing, right?
Or where he is a beginner or elementary student, when it is difficult to explain the word with other words.
Yeah,
not much vocabulary.
And what language do you use to give this word to the student?
If it is a beginner, maybe Russian, or if it is difficult to show the word somehow.
Look, when your student needs a word, they usually know which word it is, and they might ask you in Russian, of course, and then you give this word in Russian, right? And you don't need Russian here because it's the word they already need. They are looking for this word, but they can't remember it. So your Russian is not needed here at all, or only theirs.
Can you illustrate it? Actually, I can't really understand what you
mean. I heard the phrase, I can't really understand, but I...
Yes, can you illustrate all the situation? Because really I don't understand.
For example, I had my German lesson yesterday, I'm A2 in German, and I remember some words, but there are words like, for example, the difference, vice versa, and some other words which I can never remember. And the shop as well. Like, and every time I need to say this word, I can't remember it. I just can't. I've heard it and I've seen it many times. Still, I can't remember it, as all your students do. I feel stupid, but I try hard because I know that it helps if I make myself do it. And my teacher is listening to me, and she knows what I'm speaking about. For example, she understands from context what I'm saying, and she understands what I want to say. And she helps me, Geschäft. And I say, yes, Geschäft. Or she says...
She doesn't need to use Russian, yes, at all.
Sorry?
Not necessary. She doesn't need to use Russian at all.
No, because from the context of what I'm saying, it's clear that the word I need is Geschäft, is a shop.
Yeah.
Or, for example, I need to remember a word and she doesn't understand the context. Then I say, okay, I give up. How do you say наоборот in German? And then she tells me the word.
Okay.
Or writes this word in chat for me. And then I read it, and hopefully one day I'll remember. I hope so. Is that clear now?
Yes, now it's clear, absolutely.
Okay, yes. I was trying to answer your question. Okay, good. Let's get back to point 3, speaking only in the language learned. Why is it important?
It's important to help the student to learn to think in English, like without the translation in his head.
And
Yes.
Comprehend, yes.
Yeah, comprehend as well, yes. And what will happen to the student's fluency if you speak Russian, then speak English, then speak Russian, then speak English?
Sandwich? Making sandwich, like English, Russian, English, or what do you mean?
Yeah. What will happen?
It's appropriate at elementary level, maybe, but not at higher levels, because there is no need to do this. Only like if there are some new phrases that can be extremely difficult to understand at higher levels, then maybe you can make this sandwich. But there is.
Then I have a question. At what level do you need to start to train your student to retrieve vocabulary from their mind?
At A2 level.
You said it all together. At which level?
At A2.
Pre-intermediate.
So
I'd
does
say beginner, sorry, but from the very beginning, why not? It
From
depends
the
on the
very
amount
first
of language, but why not to start?
Yeah, from the very first lesson, because if you don't, then how will they remember these words? They need to try and get them out of their mind.
Yeah.
And at what level do you need to start to train your student to comprehend the language? At what level?
Comprehend?
From the beginning as well.
So at what level do you need to start speaking only English to them?
As well from the beginning.
From the very first lesson. Maria, you're saying something. I can't hear you at all, sorry.
Yes, I mean that when it's some difficult grammar and the student doesn't understand this grammar really accurately, then I think in such situations when it's just elementary level, we can explain this grammar in Russian. Just not like just a little bit of grammar, only in this case. It's really hard to explain this grammar to the student in English, and the student really doesn't understand.
Look, Maria, you said an extremely important thing, one of the most important things to be said here. It's hard to explain. How is it hard to explain for? Who has difficulties explaining?
You know, sometimes I am just trying really hard to explain, and I use different synonyms. Yes, I use different pictures, but my student doesn't understand because for him or sure that he or she understands this word accurately.
Are we talking about vocabulary or grammar? You started with grammar then?
I'm talking about grammar, because actually the vocabulary he or she can check that in the dictionary. But with grammar, it's sometimes more difficult. And when we are drilling grammar,
So, okay, look what I'll say. Well, I know that teachers do that. Sometimes teachers speak English all the time or most of the time, but they explain the grammar in Russian. But you said that it's hard to explain. And from this sentence, I understand that it's hard for the teacher to explain this grammar to elementary student so that the elementary student understood. So it's the teacher's difficulty. And this means that it's the teacher who has to plan this explanation in such a way that elementary student understands that. And I know that it's difficult, and from what I saw in your lessons, I haven't seen all of your lessons or the lessons of all of you yet, but I've seen some, and I noticed that you just mostly don't know how to do that. And this only means that in one of the next seminars we're going to deal with that, okay? But no, grammar should not be explained in Russian, because then, once again, it's some time of the lesson which you don't use to train the students' comprehension, the students' listening. Why would you steal this time from your student? Okay?
Well, no, just I had a student, and she is like older woman. Well, not older, and she lives in the USA, but she's Ukrainian, and she used to visit this American school where she only had American English books and English teacher, like a board in Ukraine or in Russia. And when she started to have lessons with me, she was very happy, because she said, you know, I wasn't always sure if I'm speaking correctly or not, and just explained to me in Ukrainian, and right now I'm very happy because I can understand that I'm really like using the structures properly or something like that. For her, it was very important, like, to be sure that.
Sure. Okay, once again, it's a question, I'm sorry, Maria, we're falling into this discussion which isn't directly connected with this, and my answer to you would be that what you're talking about is, once again, connected with the teacher's profession. Only with this, that's it. And, like, I don't speak Russian in my lessons, and it works. All my students understand, and not only mine. Yeah, it's not me who created this system. I was taught and trained to do this way, and I'll do this to you too. I hope so. I hope we'll have time. Okay, so this is about speaking, right? So please give your students a chance to do that. Okay, to understand and to retrieve the vocabulary. Even if they say 2 words first, then next time they'll say 3 words, then 4, then 5, and they will speak faster and more. And regular periods without interruptions, corrections, you mentioned. All right, very good. Do you have anything else to comment on here?
No.
Okay, good. If not, then we can go on to demonstration. I was thinking of how to build it, and I decided to take examples from levels from elementary to intermediate, and to show you how you can drill grammar, and there's one example of vocabulary too. Okay? I'll give you tasks. You'll do them all together. I mean, each of you will do them. And then I'll choose someone who will help me in demonstration, okay? So, All the exercises are taken from New English File, yeah, the second edition, from elementary to intermediate, just for you to know. Okay. Here's a very difficult exercise. Elementary level, the very first lesson in the book. Please look at it and complete the sentences with am, is, or are.
So we should do this exercise or what?
Yes, I think it will take you a couple of seconds and I think you're done now. Are you?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Anastasia, I haven't talked to you yet. Let's work together. You will be my elementary student. So let's check. Please read the example. Read.
I'm French.
Good. Number one, please.
My surname is Lopez.
Stop. Look, a robot says, my surname is Lopez. A good person, a person says, my surname is Lopez. Repeat, please.
My surname is Lopez.
Good. Next, number two.
We are from Madrid.
This is a robot, and a person says,
we are.
We're. We are from Madrid. Repeat.
We are from Madrid.
Number three, please.
I'm Anna.
Good. Not a robot, a person. Number four.
Antonio and Juan are in room 7.
Yeah, here we can't make it shorter. Okay, next, number five.
The teacher's English.
Oh, good, you got the idea. Number six.
You're in class 3.
And number 7.
She's a student.
Very good. Now, don't look. Look at the top. I say, you repeat and complete. My surname, Lopez.
I'm sorry, just repeat.
My surname, what goes to?
My surname is Lopez.
Okay, good. We, from Madrid.
We are from Madrid.
Don't look, remember, don't look, look up. Okay. I, Anna.
I'm Anna.
Good. Antonio and Juan in room 7.
Antonio and Juan are in room 7.
Okay. The teacher, English.
The teacher's English.
You in class 3.
You're in class 3.
7. She, a student.
She's a student.
Okay. What a brilliant elementary student I have. No mistakes at all.
Definitely.
Okay. Now, I say one word. You remember a sentence. Lopez.
My surname's Lopez.
Good. Okay. Madrid.
I'm from Madrid.
And I and my husband and my brother.
We are from Madrid.
Good. Anna.
I'm Anna.
Room 7.
Sorry?
Room 7.
Juan and Antonio are in room 7.
Good. Okay. Two words. Teacher, English.
The teacher's English.
Okay. And one more. A student.
I'm a student. She's a student.
Oh, okay. And she's a student. Very good. Thank you. So, thank you. Now you are not an elementary student, just a teacher. Okay. Now, everybody, how many times did the student do this exercise?
3 times. 3 times.
And what did I do at the first attempt?
What? At the first?
At the first attempt, when we first did it.
Check grammar, maybe.
I checked grammar and something else.
Pronunciation.
Contractions.
Yeah, contractions.
Pronunciation of contracted forms. Because like we are teaching them natural speech. Not all exercises provide us with those forms, but it's our job to adapt them. Look, I had to make some changes because it wasn't difficult for you. With a real elementary student, I would first ask them to write answers on paper. Then we check together. Then turn over this paper and do this exercise again. And then do what we did.
Okay.
So that they had to do, then it would be 4 times. And why is it useful to repeat these phrases so many times? How does it help fluency?
The person gets used to the sound of English, I know.
And actually to the pronunciation.
For the pronunciation, yes, to the speech pattern that is used.
And look, one more thing. When you say these sentences so many times, then you don't need to think about the grammar. You just know.
You just make it automatically after that.
And you do this in Russian. You speak it and you say correct sentences not because you know the grammar well, just because you've said it so many times that you don't need to think about it. And this is what we need to provide our students with. Next, there is there are. Slightly different. I think I can't use the chat together with screen demonstration, right?
Yeah.
Why
not? You can.
I'll do it in a different way. I know how, and I'll do this. Can I type here? I should be able to. I didn't think about the technical aspect, sorry. Okay, good. Look, we have there is, there are, and we have many sentences. Look, on the left, what can you see?
Last
Positive,
month.
negative question.
Is it positive, negative, or interrogative?
Oh, yeah, brilliant students. So, what does this mean?
Positive sentence.
Positive. What does this mean?
Negative.
Negative.
What does this mean?
Interrogative.
Or question, yeah. Elementary students don't know such words. Okay, and then we need an answer. Yeah, question and then answer. Sorry, what happened? Oh. What does that mean?
Positive answer, negative answer.
Long answer or short answer?
Short.
Short. Okay, now, look, the example. Chairs in the garden. I want to work with Irina. Okay? Will you help me? Okay.
Okay.
Chairs and the garden. Positive, please.
There are chairs in the garden.
Look, when it's 1, we say there is a chair. When it's 2, 3, 4, we say there are
Chairs.
Or one small word.
Some chairs.
Right. Okay. Can you repeat this?
There are some chairs in the garden.
Do you stress some? Do you say there are some chairs in the garden? Good.
What? Sorry, can you repeat?
Do we say there are some chairs in the garden? Is it good?
Yes. There are some chairs in the garden.
We say
chairs in the garden. Okay.
Oh, yeah, there are some chairs in the garden. There are some chairs in the garden. Okay, repeat this. Repeat this.
There are some chairs in the garden.
Very good. Okay, next, negative. Wait.
Negative or next one?
Negative, sorry. I can't.
The same sentence?
Yes.
There aren't any chairs in the garden. There aren't any chairs in the garden.
There aren't any chairs in the garden.
Okay, there aren't any chairs in the garden.
Okay, next question.
Are there any chairs in the garden?
Are there any chairs in the garden?
Are there any chairs in the garden?
Okay, and yes.
Yes, there are.
Mm-hmm. And
No,
no.
No, there aren't.
Very good. Now, number one, table, the kitchen. Positive.
There is a table in the kitchen.
Sounds like a robot.
There's a table in the kitchen.
Oh, nice. Okay, now next.
Okay, what, negative?
Negative.
There isn't a table in the kitchen.
Question?
Is there a table in the kitchen? Yes, there is. No, there isn't.
Okay, very good. And then we repeat with all the sentences. And now, look, chairs the garden. What's on the left? Positive, negative question.
Positive.
Number one, positive, negative question.
Positive.
Please take your paper and write. Then Irina writes. Yeah. Then Irina writes, and then I say, please read. Okay. So now, once again, you're teachers, and Irina is not a student, a teacher. What happened here? What did we do?
We practice the intonation.
Oh, yeah.
Practice.
I wanted to say that we practice the intonation, right? The word stress in the sentence.
Yes, and also Lena was saying something.
Contractions as well, yes, so grammar, how to say grammatically correct, and you, like, despite the fact that we had, like, only positive, negative, and questions, with all the sentences, you made all three sentences and answers, but the exercise provides us with different tasks, so only positive, number one positive, number two question, but you created all the sentences to practice one more time all the structures of the sentences.
Yeah, to give a student a chance to train what? How many
grammar?
Grammar. How many forms?
Yeah, how many forms?
All the forms.
All the forms. Yes.
All of them. Yes. That's what I'm talking about. The exercises in books are very good, But we as teachers, we know better. We know what.
We know better our students. Yeah.
Yes, and we know what they need. Yeah, they need to be able to say not only positive sentences, but all of them.
But there are also confusions with some and any, yes? So quite often students at elementary levels, they forget about this, so we have to point out it as well.
I'm not showing the presentation here, but it's clear that before you already discussed that, you've asked them, look at this sentence, one or many, one, and if it's many, some, and look at this sentence, is it positive, negative, it's negative, okay, any, it's question, okay, any. So you've already discussed that, and then we just repeat and train. And the first round, you help your student, and after that, look, here with Irina is a brilliant elementary student, so I didn't have to go through them once again. With a real student, I probably, I might, for example, say, okay, we've done that all, and now please, number two, and all forms again, positive, negative. And number four, positive, negative question. And number six, not all, but okay, 3 more, 4 more if necessary, to repeat the structure. And then your student, what do they have in their mind?
The sample, the structure, exact structure, they will say it automatically in the while speaking.
And it's not only in their head when they need to think, it's also on the tip of, their tongue.
On the tip of the tongue, yeah.
Okay, let's move on. A slightly more difficult exercise. Pre-intermediate level, 6A. High pre-intermediate level. Okay, can everybody please spend 2 minutes doing this exercise? We need to match the first part with the second. Ready? Okay. I don't have answers in front of me, but I'll try really hard. Okay. Now, Olga, I want to work with you. You will be my intermediate student. Okay. Now, let's check answers. So, if you leave now, you'll catch the 8 o'clock train. Okay? I'm sorry, I can't hear you. Can you say something?
Do you hear me now?
Oh, yeah. Now, yes. Okay. Next.
So, the next one, it will be...
Just a second. Listen and check. Listen and check. It will be cheaper if you go by bus. Okay?
Right.
If I don't see you later, I'll see you on Friday.
Okay.
You learn more if you... Wait. You learn more if you come to every class. Okay. If you get the job, will you earn the money? Will you earn more money?
Okay.
You won't have time if you don't start now.
Right.
And if I lend you this book, will you give it back to me?
Excellent.
Oh, good. Do you have the same answers, right?
Yes.
Very good. Okay. Now, I read the first part and you read the second. Okay. If you leave now,
you'll catch the 8 o'clock train.
Yeah, thanks. It's 8 o'clock, right? It'll be cheaper
if you go by bus.
Good. If I don't see you later,
I'll see you on Friday.
You learn more
if you come to every class.
If you get the job,
will you earn more money?
You won't have time
if you don't start now.
If I lend you this book,
will you give it back to me?
Now change. You read the beginning, I read the ending.
Okay, good. If you leave now,
you'll catch the 8 o'clock train.
It will be cheaper
if you go by bus. Just a second. Look, here we have it will be cheaper. How can we make it natural?
Maybe to contract.
How?
It'll be cheaper.
If you go by bus. Very good. Next.
If I don't see you later,
I'll see you on Friday.
You'll learn more
if you come to every class.
Should we do it unnatural?
No, you don't have to, only if you want to.
Okay, I'm joking. If you get the job,
will you earn more money?
You won't have time
if you don't start now.
If I lend you this book,
will you give it back to me? Now, I read the beginning, and to make it shorter, I'll read from 1 to 3, okay? And you remember the ending.
Oh, wow. It will be tough.
Yes. I'll help you, don't worry. I'm here to help you.
Okay.
It'll be cheaper.
If you go by bus.
Good, you see, not so difficult. If I don't see you later.
We will see on Saturday.
Friday.
On Friday.
Okay, Saturday, okay.
What? I will see you on Saturday or on Friday.
Okay, and once again, but...
I'll see you on Friday.
And now faster.
I'll see you on Friday.
Brilliant. Okay, and the last one. You learn more
if you come to every class.
Okay, brilliant. And look, then we change with the student, right? And the student remembers the first part. I read the second. The student remembers the first part with conditional suits. Okay. And after that, what do you think? What happens?
Probably to repeat the whole sentence without looking.
So, Olga, now I'll give you 2 words, and you need to remember the sentence.
Mm-hmm.
Cheaper, bus.
Mm-hmm. It'll be cheaper if you go by bus.
Learn class.
You'll learn faster or better if you come to every class.
Here we say you learn more, but it's okay.
Okay.
And later, Friday.
If I don't see you later, I'll see you on Friday.
Brilliant. And then you do the same with the whole thing, with the rest of the sentence. Okay? And after that, you may move on to creating the student's own sentences. Won't be so difficult.
Okay, I see. Thank you.
Next. One more demonstration. I'm lost. Okay. So the next thing is like this thing is intermediate level. I'd like you to look at it and tell me what grammar it is.
Present simple, present continuous.
Now everybody please spend a couple of minutes doing the exercise on paper or in your mind. I don't care. Ready? Okay. I worked with Anastasia, Irina, and somebody else. Where are these buttons? Here. I'm lost in Zoom. I don't use it every day like you, so you need to remember. Mila, will you help me, please?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. Okay, Mila, let's check. I'll be the driver and you're the man. Let's read. Okay. So, what are you doing here in Chicago, mister?
I'm visiting some clients.
Where are you from? You don't mind me asking, do you?
Not at all. From Incheon in Korea.
A good place to be. Me, I'm from Idaho. How long are you staying here?
3 days. I'm going home on Saturday.
Okay. Hey, I like steak. It's a question. Hey, do you like steak? Do you know where the best steak in all of America comes from? That's right, Idaho. Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't attentive enough. Okay, now let's change. You're the driver and I'm the man.
Okay. So what are you doing here in Chicago, mister?
I'm visiting some clients.
Where are you from? You don't mind me asking, do you?
Not at all. From Incheon in Korea.
Good place to be. Me, I'm from Idaho. How long are you staying here?
Can you repeat, please? How long?
How long are you staying here?
Okay. It's my ear. I have bad ear, so it's okay. 3 days. I'm going home on Saturday.
Okay. Hey, do you like steak? I know where the best steak. Do you know where the best steak in all of America come from? That's right, Idaho.
Okay. Now look. I'm the driver, and I will remember. You need to read the man and help me and control me.
Okay.
So what are you doing here?
I'm visiting some clients.
And where are you from? You don't mind me asking, do you?
Not at all. From Incheon in Korea.
And how long are you staying?
I'm staying 3 days. I'm going home on Saturday. And where are you from?
I'm from Idaho. Okay, Idaho. And that's it. Okay. I forgot this phrase. Yeah. Help me. Good place to be. I forgot this word, right? Good place to be.
Oh, yeah.
I'm from Idaho. Blah, blah, blah. Great. Listen, do you like steak? Do you know where the best steak from all of America comes from? Yes, that's right, Idaho.
Yeah, good.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Please control me. Okay,
yeah, sure.
Now you are the driver and you remember this, okay?
Okay, so what are you doing here in Chicago, Mr.?
I'm visiting some clients.
How long are you staying here? Oh, sorry.
It's about just a second. It's about from.
Oh, yeah. So where are you from? You don't mind me asking, do you?
Not at all. From Incheon in Korea. And now you say.
Good place to be. I'm from Idaho. How long are you staying here?
Can you repeat, please?
How long are you staying here?
No, that's right. Okay. 3 days. I'm going home on Saturday.
Do you like steaks? I like steaks. Oh, sorry.
Okay, go on.
Yeah. Do you know where? Do you know where the best steak in all of America come from? That's right, from Idaho.
Okay. Okay. Now look, we're going to stay here. I wanted Mila to feel that. How do you feel, Mila? Is it possible to remember that?
Yeah, it's quite possible. A little bit hard, yeah, so probably you should control me better. Yeah, just to give me some hints.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
Like, as a teacher, I'm sorry. As a teacher, I'm thinking what's important for me now, what's not important, what I have to push you with, and what I can skip, and it's okay. Sorry. So, what do you think the next step would be? It's not all.
Probably to remember the whole dialect. Try to play it out without the text totally.
Not after this. Look, we remembered only the driver's role.
Yeah, we are practicing on the driver's words.
Oh, right. Yes. So then to do the same with man's words.
Yeah. After these two times for remembering the driver, I will say, now I'm the man. And I remember, you're the driver, you read.
Oh, okay.
The students first guess the easier task.
Yeah.
So, and blah, blah, blah. I remember the student helps me, controls me. After that, we change. And only after that, what do?
We try to act out the dialect without the text, right? Yeah, to remember.
And how many times?
Well, 2 times.
Why?
So, like, switching the roles again to practice all the phrases, all the roles.
Okay. And usually it's quite enough. If you see that your student is doing it fast, right? And well, you can skip one of the stages.
Okay.
You will see. Sometimes they start to remember when they are ready, and you see that they aren't looking when they have to help you and control you. You see that they are already remembering. So then you can move on to remembering the whole dialect.
Okay, thanks. That's a really useful task.
I can hear a crow. There's a crow somewhere. Okay. All right. I have one more exercise, but I think that we don't have time for that, right? It sounds like the crow is inside your home. Okay. Well, look, this is a vocabulary exercise, and look what I would do. I think I'll just explain. So, first, the student has to match the words with definitions. And I will not ask the student to read the words. Why not?
to read the words.
Yeah, I will not ask the student to read the words. Why not?
You will read them by yourself to demonstrate pronunciation.
Exactly. Because if you ask the student to do that, then they might mispronounce it. And well, with some students I risk to do that, but there are shyer students. Like, why make them feel stupid when they say grateful instead of grateful, for example, right? They will feel strange, and we don't want them doing that. Okay, so so when the student is ready, I would say the word. For example, confused, and the student repeat. Not repeat yet, not yet. Why not yet?
Because maybe he doesn't know the meaning of all the words. So you give the word and he tries to explain whether he knows, or maybe translate if it's
no. Look, we have the definitions here. The student matches the words and definitions. Then I say the word, and the students read the definition. Okay. What's next? And the students hears me how I pronounce this word. Okay. What's next?
Then the student maybe tells you a word, and you say, and you read definition. Change.
Almost. Then I read the definition once. And the student says the word. Here, well, if the student mispronounces, I just correct them and ask them, remember I said blah blah blah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. What will be the next stage?
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry, but I have to start my lesson.
I see. Okay, then.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sure. When the video is ready, you can see this last stage. Okay. Okay. Bye bye. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you very much. It was nice to meet you. Goodbye.
Yeah. Bye bye. We'll meet you later again. Okay.
Yeah, I want to hear the last stage, and I will go also.
Yes. So the next. Just a second. Then the teacher reads the definitions, the student reads the words. What will happen next?
The teacher says the word, and the student remembers the definition.
Yes, that's right. Why is it logical that the teacher says the word first and the student remembers the definition, not vice versa?
Pronunciation?
Hearing the pronunciation and understanding the meaning. Memorizing the meaning. It's
understanding the meaning, or we can say that it's recognition. There is a term recognition. We start with recognition as much as possible. First recognition, then production. And after that, what? Once again, I read the definition, and the student
remembers the words. Remembers the words, yeah.
Okay, yes. And finally, what would you do after that all? What would you ask the student to do?
Work in the definition. The student gives the word and the definition of the word.
Well, you might, but you might also skip that. Yes, like together. Yes, the word and the definition.
Or maybe to make up some sentences, like using the words in the context.
Yes, because then, okay, we've trained some words. What's next? Use them.
Or you can, you can ask questions. When was the last time you felt confused, for example, or disappointed or nervous? Yes.
However, like my German teacher always does that to me, but I find it not as useful as creating my own sentences. Guess why? Guess why?
Because you take them from your real life experience.
Even if my teacher asks me about, like, when was the last time you felt confused, right? Still,
you will never use.
Yes, you won't use the phrase.
The word, itself. You just say the last time was last year, that's all. And you will not tell the exact word that you are studying actually.
Yes, and we need to see, why we ask the student to put these questions in some context. We need to see if the student puts it in the right context, in the right form, like combines the words correctly. So that will be the last stage here. Okay.
Yeah.
And here, once again, we repeated the words and heard them, had to understand them several times. Yeah, like 4 once again. Something like that. So these are all the examples I have today.
I'll leave you, sorry. Yeah, thank you a lot. It was very useful. Yes, we're glad to see you. Yeah, and hope to see you soon again. Yeah, so thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Okay, and with all the others, actually, it's the end of the demonstration. And do you have any questions?
No, not really. But could you send this file to the chat box if it's possible? It's very useful.
I don't know.
Practice it.
I need to stop the demonstration first, right? Stop share.
Maybe.
And then I need to. It says no. If I knew how to do that.
Probably you can drag that the file exec to the chat box, I guess.
No, the chat we cannot send. Maybe we can send to Skype, but not to chat.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, so then it's possible.
Send via Skype, did you say?
Yes,
Yes. I'll do it like this. I'll send this file to Marina, together with the video, and she'll send it to you. Okay.
Oh, thank you.
But in fact, look, the most important idea is that it's not that you use these exercises.
Yeah, sure.
The idea is that you take any exercise, and like I did with these exercises, you think of how you could create this drilling with the student.
Yeah, sure.
It's not always possible, but believe me, it's possible with most of exercises.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
And how do you think, should we use such techniques with all exercises, or should we just, because to practice grammar, we usually have not one task, not two, but if we use drilling just in full way, it will take almost a lesson with just a couple of exercises.
What do you think?
How would you recommend?
Yeah, what do you think? What would be...
I would choose just 1 or 2. It's my idea, but what's your recommendation?
I would choose 1 or 2. And then I would look at the student. Perhaps with this exactly student, spending the whole lesson practicing and drilling would be the best thing. I don't know, I need to look at this specific student. Or if I do like 2 exercises like that, and then I see that, okay, the next exercise, the student knows himself how to say it faster and tries his best to do that, and they see that the result is good, okay, then we do that faster. Yes, you're right. If you do this, some things will take longer, definitely. Sometimes, like you will spend not 1 lesson on this topic, but 2. But believe me, it pays. Like I remember when I started trying this out, I looked at my students who I didn't do that with, and at my students who I did that with, and they are very different students.
Okay, thank you.
Well, thank you very much. See you all at the next seminar in October.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thanks
Bye
a
bye.
lot.
Bye. Thank you. It was really useful. Bye.